What's up, guys? Welcome to Financial Tip Tuesdays. Today we are talking about estimated quarterly tax payments, what they are and why we need to make them, and kind of just the overlying rules around estimated quarterly tax payments. So why we have estimated quarterly tax payments is we are actually supposed to be paying in our taxes throughout the year instead of just on the following year on April 15th. And so because of that, we have estimated quarterly tax payments. And some rules to follow, to back up a little bit more, why we actually do estimated quarterly tax payments is to avoid what we call failure to pay penalties that can start to be incurred at the end of the year if we don't pay in as we go throughout the year. And so estimated quarterly tax payments have a couple rules that you have to follow in order to make sure that you are avoiding those failure to pay penalties. And the first one is if you pay in at least 90% of the total tax that you think you're going to owe for the current year, then you're going to avoid those penalties. If you pay in 100% of the total tax you owed last year, you will also avoid those penalties. But if you make over $150,000 of adjusted gross income or total household income, you actually have to pay in 110% of the taxes that you owed last year in order to avoid those failure to pay penalties. Obviously, if you're getting a tax refund or anything like that, then you're not going to be hit with failure to pay penalties. There's some due dates that are corresponding with the estimated quarterly tax payments, and those due dates are on April 15th of the current year, June 15th of the current year, September 15th of the current year, and then January 15th of the following year. So for example, for this year, it would be April 15th, 2018, and then our final payment would be due on January 15th of 2019. So just kind of a little tidbit of information on how the dates work. So as you can see, it's kind of complex to figure out where you're at in your situation, especially if you're self-employed and your income kind of varies. So it's important to talk to a tax professional about what your situation is and where you're at as far as paying your taxes throughout the year. For me and my clients, I'm actually sitting down right now getting ready to fill out to finalize their books halfway through the year, to see where they're at, to see if we need to up their estimated tax payments or if we need to keep them steady, or even if we need to drop them a little bit if they're not making as much money as they were last year. So it's definitely something to consider as you go throughout the year. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is steven@slgadvising.com, or check out my website for a little bit more information and other ways to get connected with me. Thanks for tuning in this week. Please tune in next week for another great episode of Financial Tip Tuesdays. Have a good one, guys.